Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. Before I begin today, a big thank you for the virtual gift voucher. Whoever you are, your support is truly appreciated. Thank you. But on to today. Today we discuss the return of Leman Russ, and maybe how a recent development could be used in that storyline. General spoiler warning to begin, as we will be talking about events from across the Warhammer 40k universe, so you have been warned. But with that said, let's just jump straight in. So Leman of the Russ, Primarch of the Space Wolves. As we know, Russ departed into the Eye of Terror, strongly believed to be in search for the seeds of the Tree of Life, a means to heal his father, the Emperor of Mankind. Now, whether you believe the Emperor sent Russ, or he left of his own accord, doesn't really change the fact he is prophesied to return for the Wolf time. And by anyone's opinion, it's hard to not see the current state of affairs as just that. Now, as always with Primarch returns, it's hard to see one happening anytime soon, and that's particularly when it comes to Leman Russ. As I don't know about anybody else, but I always feel the whole Wolf time statement makes it feel that Russ will definitely be one of the last in the pecking order. I hope I couldn't be any more wrong, but hey, it is what it is. However, speculating on Primarch returns, well, that is what we do. And there was a recent development that I think could play into the Wolf King's returning storyline. Now, if you watched the Tree of Life upload last week, you'll know I'm of the opinion Russ is truly on the hunt for whatever the seeds of the Tree of Life could be. And then, most likely, that quest would have surely led him to the Garden of Nurgle. How easy would it be to get there? Well, who knows, obviously that would not be an easy feat. The domain of a Chaos God is far from a place you would want to find yourself, but Russ is certainly not your average character. Now, the recent development concerns the novel Godblight, and I'm not going to go real in-depth here, as there's so much to talk about. We'll begin doing that over the next few weeks. However, I'll do my review later this week, then next week we will begin the real diving in deep, breaking it down and discussing all the questions it raises. However, like I said, warning for the novel Godblight. Now, during Guilliman's final climactic confrontation against his brother Mortarion, a warp rift is opened direct to the domain of Nurgle. And here the power of the Emperor's sword not only burns a portion of the garden, but Guilliman's voice then echoes all throughout the warp. That he is Rebute Guilliman, last loyal son of the Emperor, that he is coming for him, and his days are numbered. Now, aside from the sheer epicness of the moment, one of the first things that leapt into my mind was of his brothers who would have heard his voice. Corax for one, possibly Rogel, as we don't know his whereabouts, but most certainly of them all, Russ. Now, firstly, hearing Guilliman proclaim he is the last loyal son just may encourage Russ to return to the Imperium, not only to see what the situation actually is, but also to speak with his brother. They may never have been the closest of brothers, Russ believing Guilliman more boring than Perturabo, and Guilliman believing Russ to be very hot-headed. However, neither ever doubted the other's loyalty. In hearing Guilliman's voice, Russ, or indeed any of the other Primarchs, may just be led to reunite with their brother. Now, another intriguing possibility is if Russ was within the Garden of Nurgle, perhaps the Emperor's power setting some of it ablaze may just have aided Russ in some way. Time, as we know, doesn't work in the same form within the Immaterium. Perhaps Russ has been trapped within a maze of overgrown plants, or not long arrived and still hacking his way through, or simply taken prisoner. Regardless, it certainly feels as this event ties in quite well to Russ's quest. And let me be clear here, I'm not saying it's even meant to. I'm just saying it works out quite well alongside the Quest of Russ theory, as both events are taking place in the same place. Because really, for all the lost Primarchs out there, Russ is really one of, if not the one, who's still awaiting a hint or subtle tease he is still alive. For the Lion, Luther escaped, greatly advancing his return story arc. Corax we have actually seen alive and well within the Eye of Terror. Vulcan we saw return in the War of the Beasts series. Jagatai now has White Scars searching for him within the Webway. And Rogel Dawn. Okay, Rogel's pretty much in the same boat as Russ. At least his story was updated to say his body was never fully recovered, only his hand. And either way, it's about time we received a little tease in one of their directions. And well, given how these latest events could be used, I think it's about time we had a little Wolf King update. Ah, but Rho, I hear some of you cry. You're forgetting about Magnus saying he knows of the Wolf King's whereabouts. Well, no, I remember. I'm not sure that's quite the same as seeing Corax alive or White Scars searching the Webway for Jagatai. However, if we were to believe Magnus was telling the truth, then you would have to believe that Russ is somewhere out of Magnus's reach. Because considering the hatred Magnus has towards Russ, and the amount of attempts he's had at eradicating the Space Wolves chapter, there's no way he'd leave Russ to be. And where's one place Magnus could not reach Russ? The Garden of Nurgle. The exact same place Russ is rumoured to be, and where these latest events have taken place. The God of Decay is the hated enemy of the Changer of Ways, who just happens to be Magnus's patron. So it may not be likely, and it almost definitely wasn't planned, but the coincidence is, it all could be used to further along Russ's return. At least in terms of giving us the next little hint that he is still out there somewhere. But as always guys, what do you think? Do you think Russ is still within the Garden of Nurgle? And if so, would he have heard Rabute's voice? How do you think the burning of some of Nurgle's garden could be used to play into Russ's situation? As always, leave your thoughts in the comments below, I love to read them. Huge thank you to all my subscribers, your support truly means a lot to me, it really does. And if you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. And if you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.